You're in for a very, very special treat. So I hope you all have your pen and paper ready because tonight we're about to learn about acquiring customers. And there's no better person to do that. Can we agree? Individual is not in the US. She's all the way over in Australia. And she has over 359 personal customers, not team, but personal. So I think tonight, if you're interested in learning how to acquire customers, there's no better person to teach you how to do that. So what I like to do right now is bring up Miss Diane Collins, all the way from Australia, to give us some lessons tonight. Are you there, ma'am?
And thank you so much. Thanks to Bree for introducing me. That was amazing. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Thomas, for allowing me to speak on this amazing platform. And happy Easter, everybody. It's Easter here, Easter Sunday here in Melbourne, in Australia. So I'm just about to go to my mum and dad's after to have lunch with my sister and her family, so, and boys as well. So, but yeah, so it all is. So what are we going to do today? We're going to talk about customers and how I have achieved them or retained them. So I've got Mr. Clemens on backup because I've sent him my PowerPoint presentation because I'm not very techie. And don't even ask me how, Mr. Clemens, how I did those presentations because they just popped up. That looks good. Okay, let's start. Can everyone hear me? All good? All good. Okay. So if you're feeling like doing ACN is hard or difficult, and that's okay because it is. I felt this way when I started. Lots of people feel this way, but I can definitely assure you it gets easier. The more you contact new and existing customers, the easier it gets. The cold calls you are finding with difficult now will become your warm market, your warm referrals, because the people that you refer to, some will say they won't be your cold market anymore, they'll be your warm referrals. And it's much easier to make that phone call if you know someone and say, hey, Diane, can you please ring Jabri? Because I've told you all about his service, about your great service, and he's waiting for your call. So it gets much easier, I promise, to make those calls, and then blindly going into making cold calls. The warm calls are so much easier, and you create those beautiful relationships and people start to trust you and your name gets out there. So please just stick with it, please. I'm just going to start off telling you something before we go into my slideshow. Let me tell you a story. I'm going to read it because I've had a few things go wrong this morning. A few stories about John Stephen Akari, who was a Tanzanian Olympian, a marathon runner in the 1968 Olympics. Akari entered the Olympic Stadium in Mexico City at 7 p.m. The light was fading, the closing ceremony had finished, and the athletes and spectators were beginning to leave the stadium. To the sound of the wailing police sirens, Akari entered the stadium, capturing the attention of the remaining crowd. Over an hour earlier, Mohammed Waldorf of Ethiopia had charged across the finishing line to be first place. Akari entered the stadium. His leg was bandaged, bloodied from an earlier fall. He had been trampled on, dislocated his knee, and he hit his shoulder hard on the ground. Why did he persist and complete the marathon? He was asked by the journalist the next day. This always gets me. My country didn't send me 5,000 miles to Mexico City to start the race. They sent me 5,000 miles to finish it. So that's been my experience with my ACN journey. And I find many people start their ACN journey, but few have the persistence and the resilience to push through and approach that invisible finish line. ACN can be difficult, it can be awkward, and it can be challenging. But with the help and the support of those around you, many of those are on the call today, you can always be moving forward. Today, I'd like to talk to you about what has worked for me in acquiring new customers, and in the hope that some of it might help you guys to build your business. The 3 topics that I'm going to talk about today is customer retention, customer growth, and using your back office as a tool. All right, let me see, here we go. Let's share. Okay. Let's see how I go, Mr. Clemens. Okay, let's start. A minute. Okay, how I created my customer portfolio. Trust, loyalty, confidence, integrity, lots of, you need to be genuine, ethical, identify your market, and share the products every day. Oh, sorry. Okay, so leading questions to ask potential customers. To your customer, I always ask them, do you want to save money on your essential bills that you are currently paying? Or if you're looking for IBOs, do you want your essential bills to become an incoming producing business? Let them answer the question. Let them, it's their choice. A lot of them, with what we're talking about today with creating customers, and building your customer portfolio, always ask this to every customer that I lead with before I've done the quote, but before I sign them up, I always ask those 2 questions and let them decide what they want to do. And let them answer for it. Customer retention, customer retention. Know your customer. It is really, really, really important. This is the critical part of my business. I always make sure that I know my customer, that I know about them, what they do, their family, everything about them is what I always aim to do. Which is, I'll just go to the next slide. So let's build. I forgot about this one. So my sales tip for this one is discover all you can about your customer. Let's build a rapport with a discovery question compass. Understanding your customer, who they are, their next of kin, their family, friends, what social activities they like to do. Education, because you need to use the proper language in order, if you're speaking to an accountant or Mr. Thomas, I would be really using my backbone and posture and to get the business or what services that we're offering across. If it's with your mates, you can use the language down and be a bit more relaxed sort of thing. And work, what they do, whether they like their role, what they do for a living, because that you put it in the memory bank and later on, that's where you store it. So that's all those are always the sales tips that I use. And also we say to ourselves, our motto is, we're in business, we tell ACN new IBOs, we're in business for ourselves, but never by ourselves. Just think about that for a minute. So why don't we use that motto for our customers? Why do we have to leave when our customers become valued customers, don't leave them to do things by themselves. I never do that. Help them to sign up with their services if they need on one-on-one, 3-way calls, or on their computer when they're signing up. Do it with them. Walk them through the applications and everything that they need to do to sign up the customer to get those services, because that way you develop that relationship, you develop that trust, that rapport. That's what they're looking for. They feel valued. People want to feel valued. They want to feel that they're that what they're giving you, their services, that you give them something sort of back in return, and you give them back as your attention, your listening skills. You're really, really pouring the love on them that they need and they want, because they're just going to keep with you forever and ever and ever. They won't go away. Then I also I find when you're sitting with them, signing up or over the phone, or whether they're signing up on the computer, you find out their date of birth. You already know their account address because you've got their bill in front of them, but you find out then their email. And I always ask them if their email, or I write them down, their email address, their date of birth, because every year when their birthday comes around, I send them out a text every year without fail. And they say, wow, they don't get that service from the big companies anymore, but they never do it. But we do it in ACN because we're all about customers. So you find out, and that therefore you're really investing in them. They're not just a customer, they're a valued customer in your business. And that's what I've done with absolutely every 359 of those points, or at least half of those, because some of them are double things. I have sat with them or done a 3-way or 2-way call with them to get them on board with signing up, because I need to know about my customer. I need to know what they need, what their wants are. And with ACN, and what you need to become as well, is you need to become a problem solver. Solve their problems for them. They love it. Oh my God, they'll stay with you forever. So, and then also you've got all that information for when you need to send out emails for later on, follow-up phone calls. You've got all that information. I write absolutely everything down and keep it and store it. And I also store it in my my phone as well. Okay, so next sales tip we're going to do is discover all you can about your customer. What information do you need to help to find the best solution for your customer? TAPS, that's what I call it. Timeline. When you first make sure that when you're first talking to your customer, that it's the right appropriate time. Is it a suitable date? And if it's not suitable, find a suitable date and time to sign up that customer. Authority. Make sure the person that you're speaking to is the one that makes the decisions. It could be the other half. And if that's the case, try and get them on that call as well to get them over the line to sign up for your products. Also, product preference. Just listen to them. Listen to their needs. They might need a phone. They might need the gas and electricity. They might need their ID seal. They might need Vivint, the security. Just ask the questions, let them talk. You just ask a question and listen, write it down, and then that way then you can help to problem solve, because some of them, they don't know what they need. We're the experts in ACN, they're not, and we help them to come to save their money and to get them on better plans. And also their spending level, that's a really crucial one. You've got to make sure that you keep their budget. Don't with your SIM plans or your cellular phone plans, don't always go for the highest, because that's your bigger points. That helps you. You've got to listen to them. If it's only a $20 plan, it's a $20 plan. It might be I've got a lot of customers on, they started off with a $20 plan and then they've gone up to the highest one because they can see the value. They've got to see value first. Sometimes they like to just try it out, and that's okay too. But always lead with their budget, not what you're thinking. It's a big thing that I always work on as well. Okay. Oops, sorry. The next one we've got to is customer growth. How have I expanded my customer growth? Well, during lockdown was very difficult, as Mr. Thomas and you all know. We couldn't go out here like you guys for a while as well. So you have to sort of think outside the square, outside the box. Sorry to say. I just started. I've always used the ACN script that Favor helped try, but I made sure that I knew at least 1 or 2 of my products really, really, really well. Because when you're making those phone calls, you want to be able to come across as professional. That you need to know what's it about, how it's going to benefit them. Get them to send you their bills. So make sure that you tell them their your email address, so they can send you, so you can do those free quotes and get back to them straight away. So what I did, because I couldn't go out to see customers face to face, because that's what we always like to do, or get them on used to get them on a Zoom, or I used to do a video call, or I used to just call them. On the old-fashioned way, I just like to do phone calls the old-fashioned way. So I have done Facebook posts as well, and answered to a couple of people were asking for recommendations, and someone had recommended me, so I got back to them immediately, and then they DM'd me personally, and then I went through going through everything about the products, or could I get their information, or could I get their mobile and give their permission to ring them later on. So that's what I did. The key is, though, for me, for building customers, is that as soon as I got their information, I would also key it in my phone immediately. Absolutely, because then you've got everything. You've got their date of birth, their address, their phone. You also write points as well if they've got other family members, if they have a hubby or a partner or something like that, children, how many children, sort of ages as well. So you've got something to talk about, and you start to learn about them, and then they become that friendship. It's not just a customer, they become friends, they become your warm market. A lot of them are from obviously sometimes your warm market when they are your friends, and then they refer on to other people, but they become even more of your friends. They become like family. ACN's all about family. That's what we're all about. So, and then also I immediately after I have signed up all my customers, I send them a text or an email to thank them for supporting my business and asking them, I always do this, always ask them if there's any other family or friends that they know that may need my help to save them money on the essential bills. So, and the big thing is always keep them in the loop. If anything goes wrong, sometimes there's a bit of hiccups. I always give them a call that the other end might need some more information. So you're that sort of go between, you're in control. That's what you want to be, is you always want to be in control of your own business and your own customers. This is what I found quite a few years ago. It was a jump start to the ACN. It was about 2018, I think, when they came out. So these were the steps, and I've been using this book. It was a booklet that we got given from ACN about customer acquisition. And I thought it was really appropriate to maybe take a screenshot by upselling, how to bundling, products, like you tell your customers it's a one-stop shop, make sure that you aren't paying too much for your bills, compare, to the best offer in the market, and ACN finds the best offers and that suit for your solution, for your situation. So we're problem solvers. So, and also I've always followed the success steps to success is choosing the products and services wisely. That's means that listening. You've got to really listen to your customers. Build and maintain a product knowledge, which is guaranteed. Mr. Thomas is always telling us that we have to just keep building, keep being a student, keep learning, and then you just do little bit by little bit, one step at a time, not all at once, just one step at a time, and then you become really comfortable at it. You're really confident. The confidence comes out. Confidence comes out. You're really comfortable, and you can just you feel like you're a winner. And you can win at anything, even though you've got those few butterflies. You just go for it. That's what it's all about. So that's another tip that I always use as well. Okay, now we're on to using our back office with the tools from there. This is one of my major ones. Service, you have to give not good service, not great service, extraordinary service. You need to stand out. You need to stand out of the crowd. Stand out of you're all following one another, but be that person that gives extraordinary service. I've always done it with any of my jobs, whether I've been in the banking industry, Jimbaroo. I'm known for my service. I'm known for my positivity, my commitment, my trust, my consistency, but also for my service. And that's because I just love customers. People have hobbies of collecting things or doing things. I have hobbies collecting friends because I just love people and I just love to help people. So that's what, so ACN and I are marriage made in heaven. So using your back office, as I've got the picture there, unlocks everything to keeping and retaining and growing your customer portfolio, which also in turn leads to success. So one other big thing as I said, I've always been asking, you've got to keep a positive mindset. You've got to be committed. You've got to show up. You've got to show up to events. You've got to show up to the platform that Mr. Thomas and Jabri and all the amazing speakers, they come and give their time so freely, and that would be worth thousands. Honest to goodness, I am so blessed and so honoured to be in this group. And I'm not even part of Mr. Thomas's group, but I have learnt so much. I have come from here to here. You've got to, and I listen, you've got to really listen. That's how I've grown my business as well. I've listened to Mr. Thomas. If he told us that there's no better time, he told us last year, and he told us this is it. There's no better time to jump. We've got to spread out our wings and we've got to fly. We might not be able to get right up here like an eagle, or we can start off being a baby eagle and then we're just soaring and soaring. Because if you listen to the best, and he is the best, he's proven. He's made multi-millionaires. Mr. Jordan Adler. Why can't we be one of his multi-millionaires? He said he's willing to help us. So all you just have to do is listen, be humble, and just go out and do it. That's what I've been frightened. We're all frightened. I didn't even know what I was doing in lockdown because I just thought, oh my goodness, I can't actually go and see. I like to do face to face. So I just had to pick up that phone and make those phone calls. Just love on people. Just find out them. Don't make it about you. Yeah, say your name, tell you where you're from, and ask them how you're going. How's your situation? What are you in? What have you been doing? And then you'll just find that the conversation just flows. And the more you do is the more that you become comfortable with it. And it's like once you start, like I remember, I think I started with you guys a couple of years ago, or last year, the year before. It's 75 points, and now it's 359. I would not have got there, I'm telling you, without this platform, without the listening, the training, what Jabri does to put us in that back office that in Destiny International, and go back and review it. And that's what I do. I go back in my own time. Sometimes I can't get on in the mornings at 3 or 4 in the morning because I've got work or other commitments, but I go back and I watch and I take notes. The biggest thing is to take notes. Listen, Mr. Thomas tells us all the time, take notes. Dean Torelli, the Kings, Jabri, Mr. Lewis, Miss Natasha, they always say, take notes and listen. Listen. You've just got to listen and just believe in them. Oh, that's what I just have belief. I have total and full belief. If Mr. Thomas asked me to jump off a cliff today, I would, because you know why? I'm going to fly. I know I am, because you've got to have that mindset, that confidence. And I tell myself every day, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm probably not, but I tell myself I am, because I want to believe it, because that's how you win, and that's how you get that confidence to achieve success. Everybody deserves success, but it's here and here from your heart. He always says you have a closed hand and the other one's closed and the other one's open, because you need to receive as well as give. Mr. Tasha's told us, you run with a baton, you run and change your tree. You just do. Mr. Julian has told us you've got to dig deep for those gold nuggets. They're there with your IBOs or your customers. They're not on the surface. A lot of them, in those years of gold rush, they were shoveling. A lot were dirt, but the ones that persisted and kept going and going, they found the gold. Mr. Jabri is always telling us as well, turn up, show up. Just be you, be the you, authentic you. You can't be someone else. I'd like to be. I'd like to clone Mr. Thomas and be you when I go out and speak to my customers, but just be authentic. Be you, speak your own language, and be positive and happy and proud that you belong to an amazing company, ACN, and the platform that the co-founders have given us, the back office. Learn the 1 to 10. I've done that. I've learned that on with you guys. That's given me the confidence. I like to talk to everybody, but I don't normally like to be up front. I was text Mr. Jabri this morning saying, I'm so nervous. I can't, I'm just nervous. But when I'm out there, it's just, no one can see that. They don't see the back, because I put on that face, that professional face, that face that says, I can do this and I am going to do it because it's my business. You need to take ownership of your own business and just make it succeed. You can do it. Mr. Thomas has faith in us. Jabri has faith in us. All the amazing speakers, Mr. Nelson, they all have faith. The co-founders have faith in us. We have a dream. We have a vision. We just got to go for it. We really just don't be squashed by other people. Just keep telling yourself, I can do this. It's hard. It's very hard. Life's hard. Everything's hard. But if you work at it, little steps, little bit by little bit, you will grow your business and you will retain your customers. If you love on them and you follow up you ring them, you email them, you text them, you call them, whatever platform that suits you. As I said, this is only what I've done. Not everything will work for everybody. Yes, I go well out of my way, and it uses up a lot of my time, but my time is free. My time is valuable, don't get me wrong, but my time is free. And if I want to give that, that's my decision, because I want to create that connection. I want to create those relationships that are long lasting, that'll last me. They won't go anywhere. They're comfortable. I've just rung all my customers, even though, as you knew, I was on jury duty. I went in 2 hours earlier to make sure that they were on the new plans for electricity that were out. I've rung all of them. There's only 5 left that I haven't been able to get onto, and I will be after Easter. I'll let them have their family time, because I know they when I rang them and said, "What? Hang on a minute, we've only just changed 4 or 5 months ago. How do you know?" And I said, "Because that's what I am. I am an essential, your personal assistant to your essential bills." That's what I always tell my customers. I am your personal assistant that comes free to your essential bills with a smile and a heart that wants to just give, and just be a true servant leader. That's all I want to do, and I want to make everyone proud, and not only myself but everyone else as well. I owe that to Mr. Thomas to do that. Now, my last screen is my formula to building a large and strong customer portfolio. My why times by deliberate action equals success. Truly believe in that. Helping people is my passion. I saw this from another presenter here in Australia, Janice, and I just changed it a little bit to suit me as well, but I loved it. Helping people is my passion. Winning is my aim. Failure is my teacher, and participation is the game. We've got to get in. We've got to move. We've got to just do it. It doesn't matter how hard it is, no matter how many failures we have, doesn't matter how many no's we get, just keep going. And as Mr. Thomason always says in Jabri, flip no to on to the next customer, on to the next product, on to the next something, because you're just going to just keep climbing that ladder little bit by little bit, because up the top, the view is going to be amazing. Mr. Thomas always tells us that view from being an eagle, eagle's vision, eagle's eyesight, that view, that's what we're all striving for a better life, more time freedom, financial freedom. And remember, this is what I always say to myself every day, remember to always be genuine, friendly, professional, and deliver consistent excellence and outstanding service in all areas of my ACM business. Thank you. That's my presentation. Thank you.
That was absolutely astonishing and amazing.